So I figured now would be a good time to go ahead and do my top 10 winter niche fragrances for, I guess, 2022, the end of winter here. So I've been putting this one off, and then I kind of started to think, okay, maybe I won't even do it. But then I'm like, you know, looking back on it, I'll be sad that I didn't do a niche video. And I'm sure some of you guys also look forward to these, so I figured I'd go ahead and get it out. Realistically, I'm going to be wearing fragrances like this up until the end of March. So we still have a good few months of winter here left over. Probably some of these even into early April as well. So not too late necessarily. If you guys are still kind of curious about some niche winter fragrances, maybe you want to pick some up, maybe you want to see what I would choose, that's what we have today. I will link up all of these down below, most to discounters. Some will take you to Twisted Lily, and if those links do point there, make sure to use the code CHAOS10 for 10% off. That code is always active and it works for everything. And in terms of FragranceNet, there will also be a link down below for 35% off. Click that, automatically applies, whatever the current code is, so that way you can save the most amount of money. A lot of these actually are available there to where you can get them at a price under retail. Okay, let's just go ahead and run right through this. I will try to keep this one moving quick. For whatever reason with niche videos, I tend to talk a lot more than designers, so we'll cut that down. We've got NASOMATTO Pardon at number 10, or Pardon, I should say. This one's got dark chocolate, oud, pepper. Smells fantastic. One of my newer NASOMATTOs, although I have had it for probably going on a year now. It's one that I really enjoy though. It's chocolatey, it's smooth, it's creamy, it's sweet, but it's also very woody and masculine, a little bit spicy. Stuff smells amazing. Don't be too put off by the oud. It's not too incredibly strong, not too overbearing. That chocolate note in here kind of balances it out, and it really gives it a nice kind of edible sexiness about it. Quality is fantastic. The performance is no joke. When you look at these, they are 30 mils, but they are straight to parfum concentration. And so that's really all you need unless you're wearing it every single day, which most people probably wouldn't. That is one of the things that initially kind of put me off about NASOMATTO was, you know, the small bottle size. I like to spring for big bottles whenever possible, but realistically, this is all you need. Great fragrance here at number 10. Really cuts through the cold weather. So at number 9, we actually have KILIAN Intoxicated. So you know this is going to be a good list when I feature actually one of my favorite coffee fragrances all the way down at number 9. Now I will give you a little spoiler alert and tell you that this is not the only KILIAN fragrance you're going to be seeing. Look at that shine on that beautiful, beautiful bottle. Amazing stuff, but it smells even better. Coffee, cardamom, nutmeg, cinnamon. Man, this stuff is gorgeous. It's basically like a niche version of Terry Mugler Angelman, basically. Mugler Angelman, the original there. It's kind of how it comes across. This one's higher quality, tends to have better performance, is a bit more niche-like, a little bit more challenging. But ultimately, again, one of the best coffee fragrances I've ever smelled. It smells so, so nice in the cold weather. It's one of those kind of cozy scents, one that you can snuggle up with in the evening when it's cold outside and just smell great. It's also one that I like to apply in the morning as well, just if I kind of want that coffee kick with my morning cup of coffee. This stuff here is absolutely incredible. And you can get it on FragranceNet for a price a little bit below retail, which is nice. At number 8, NISHANE Ani. So this is one of the most unique vanilla fragrances I've ever smelled. Now, in terms of like all time my favorite vanillas, this would be up there in the conversation. It wouldn't be number 1, probably not even quite number 2. So it's not, again, one of my favorite all-time vanilla fragrances, but it is one of the most unique vanilla fragrances I've ever smelled and that I own as well. And man, I mean, when you smell it, holy crap, that is good. I'm going to waste a whole bunch of it here. Because it has this lemon zestiness. It's almost like a lemon meringue pie with this nice vanilla cake type of smell. It's kind of what's going on here. I mean, this stuff is out of this world, just incredibly unique. Not a single thing else like this one. It's got vanilla, ginger, black currant. There's a few other notes in here, probably a bit of a benzoin as well, giving it a little bit of a powderiness. Like I mentioned, man, if you have a good amount of vanilla fragrances and you don't want just another average vanilla scent, highly encourage you to check this one out. That lemon meringue pie type of smell that this one gives off, that That lemon cake smell is so unique, and it may sound kind of weird, but trust me, it really works together well. It's almost kind of a gourmand. I mean, this stuff is delicious, it's sexy, it's very strong, it isn't straight like NISHANE's are, and I mean, this stuff, it absolutely kills it in the winter time. Really nice here. Not underrated necessarily, it does get talked about, but definitely one that should be on your radar. At number 7, we've got AMOUAGE Interlude Black Iris. Iris, olibanum, leather, and oud. So this, I believe, is the first flanker of Interlude. And I've said this before, it sounds absolutely crazy, but I do think, all things considered, I prefer this one over the original Interlude, which that in and of itself there is an amazing fragrance, super unique, incredibly strong. But what I like about this one is the introduction of the iris. So it's overall a little bit more wearable, a little bit more smooth and creamy, less potent and strong and harsh, not in like a quality way. AMOUAGE to make some great quality scents, but harsh in terms of it's just like all right there all at once. I'm talking about the original Interlude. This one's much easier to get along with, easier to pull off. For me, it's one that I would just reach for more, especially in the winter time. It's smoky, it has this nice oud note in here. It's a little bit leathery, creamy, sweet. That iris comes in perfectly up top and stays throughout the scent. This is really remarkable stuff. If you find yourself in the same boat where the original Interlude is just too strong, maybe you can't wear it out as much as you would like to, maybe you feel a little bit uncomfortable doing so, Black Iris is the solution to that. And I think it is a solution that we almost needed, or that a lot of people would have really appreciated to have sooner, and I'm glad we have it now. Very solid stuff here at number 7. At number 6, one of the most potent tobacco fragrances on the niche side that I own from MANCERA, that pretty much gave it away. It is red tobacco. So this one's got red pipe tobacco, oud, patchouli. What else we got in there? Yeah, that's really all it. That's all I wrote down anyway. It's really all I get. Oud, patchouli, red pipe tobacco. That's all there is. Actually, that's not true. It's not all there is, but that's all you really need to know. And I just about sneezed there. I mean, that when you smell this, especially when you shove your head into it like that, man, it is right there. It is strong. It is potent. Not for the faint of heart. You have to be really into tobacco fragrances, almost to the point where you have like a little bit of a passion for tobacco fragrances. For me, it's something that over the years I've slowly worked my way up to. You know, if I would have just been tolerating tobacco fragrances a couple of years ago and I would have smelled this, probably wouldn't have been into it all that much. But as time has gone on and I've smelled more tobacco fragrances, different types, different styles, you know, I've come to really develop a strong a love, a passion for fragrances in this genre. And so this one here is one that ultimately resonates with me very well. You do get a little bit of that oud, and so the way I describe this one is it has a little bit of that MANCERA DNA smell, that slightly medicinal oud type of smell, which is apparent across a lot of them. You can really pick it out, stands out there. But it's not too overboard. The tobacco does take over. The patchouli takes over. It's smoky. It's red pipe tobacco, literally. The bottle, the name, everything about this one is a great representation. It is incredibly strong. It is also, in terms of niche, incredibly affordable. A little bit over $100 for 120 milliliters. That is unheard of, and this stuff performs better than a good amount of other niche fragrances out there. Seriously, one of the best bang for your buck tobacco fragrances that happens to also be one of my favorites here. Breaking into the top 5 from MEMO Paris, this one's African Leather. Cardamom, leather, saffron, and cumin. So this is one of the best cardamom fragrances that I have ever laid my nose on. Seriously. I mean, you name it, and this is probably better. You know, La Nuit de l'Homme, we're comparing apples to oranges here, but everyone who is confronted about cardamom, they're like, oh, I know that note, La Nuit de l'Homme, right? That's kind of the main one that kind of made it mainstream in a way. But really, you haven't smelled good cardamom until you've gotten into something like this. I mean, that's not entirely true. La Nuit de l'Homme is fantastic. I love the cardamom note in there. But you may think, just by smelling that fragrance, or maybe a couple other designer cardamom-based scents, you may think it can't get any better. And the point I'm trying to make is, it definitely can. It gets much better. I mean, this stuff is just mind-blowing. I still remember the first time I smelled it. I'm like, yeah, I understand the hype around this one, because there was a good little bit of hype, at least within the niche community, around this one there. The leather comes in, it has a little bit of a spicy cumin note, and that kind of is underneath the cardamom spice. It smells so good, so addicting, so alluring. It's one that has amazing presence. It cuts through the cold winter air without a problem, doesn't break a sweat, performs good. This here, I mean, this is magical. Truly a work of art. Fantastic stuff. Moving into number 4, we've got a niche brand that I really have a ton of respect for. A brand that I honestly never thought I would own any bottles of, because it is expensive. A lot of these are, most of these are, especially at retail. This brand just so happens to be where you can't really get it at a price other than retail for the most part. So that was also another reason where I'm like, man, maybe someday I will be able to own one bottle of this stuff, you know, from out of all of them. Maybe I can just own one from this brand. And now I've been very fortunate to where I have a lot from this brand. It's crazy how things work. From ROJA Parfums, this one is Enigma, or Creation E, and this is the Parfum. So yeah, these are hard to get discounted. Sometimes discounters will get them in, but it's always inconsistent. They'll get a couple in stock, maybe they'll sell out quick and then kind of gone. So your best bet to get any ROJA fragrance, for the most part, any of them, at a discount is to go through Twisted Lily and use my code CHAOS10. You will get 10% off, which when you're paying for something like this, that's almost $50. When you're paying for the Parfum Cologne, which I would also recommend, that's basically $30 off. So that's really about the only way you can go to get these at a price below retail. So yeah, it's crazy to think that this stuff here goes for pushing $500 for 50 mils. I mean, it's not an affordable brand by any means. But I'll tell you what, when you've smelled these before, yeah, might as well, right? I didn't want to waste a spray, but man, I mean, you know right away, the quality here, it lives up to the hype. Now, should everyone go out and spend near $500 on this? No, absolutely not. Again, if you want the Parfum, you can get $50 off basically using my code at Twisted Lily, but still you're paying a lot of money for it. Not for everybody. Don't try to save up a bunch of money just to get this necessarily, unless you really want one bad. The point I'm trying to make is there are other options in here that are more affordable. There are other options from the brand like the Parfum Cologne, which is also more affordable. And guess what? The Parfum Cologne is also very strong, very good performer. It's a little bit more fresh and bright. I like the richness of this Parfum. It's one that I just enjoy as well, but I could go either way. Cognac, vanilla, tobacco, benzoin. It's boozy, it's sweet, it's kind of a little bit warm, spicy. Very cozy, very upscale, incredibly upscale. I mean, this is something that you can wear to a high-end dinner, a date, some sort of event, and you will be one of the best, most expensive, luxurious smelling people there, I guarantee it. And again, same with the Parfum Cologne. I'll go ahead and bring it out as well. This stuff also is one that you could easily go for and be just as happy with it. The Parfum is not a necessity. That's kind of why they put these out. Kind of bridges the gap between a Parfum concentration and a Cologne concentration. So you got really good projection, really good longevity at a more affordable price and double the amount of juice. This is the way to go for most of you guys. And again, 30 bucks off using my code. I do encourage you to at least try or sample at least a couple of the ROJA Parfum fragrances, especially in the Parfum Cologne line, whether it be Elysium, Scandal, Enigma, Creation E right here, Fetish, I'm not sorry, Vetiver, or also, what's the last one here? I'm thinking of Danger. So try any of them, and I think out of all of them, you would find one that you are really, really impressed with. Fantastic brand. At number 3, a fragrance from Creed. So this brand here is a niche brand that anymore is a little bit hard for me to recommend highly, given their continuous price increases, given the hysteria around reformulation and batch talk. So this is really just a personal scent here for me at number 3. One that I do like to wear a lot in wintertime. Very classy. It's not a Ventus. It's not even Viking. You know, those are ones that are very personal for me. I'll always own them. I'll always buy from the brand just to get those. They're very special to me. But this one here, also one that is very nice, and that is Royal Oud. Cedarwood, oud, pink pepper, and sandalwood. Not a whole lot of oud. Don't let that scare you off. There's actually more prominent oud notes in some designer fragrances than this one. You know, Gucci Intense Oud, Let's see, one that I was just talking about recently, Mercedes-Benz Le Parfum. More oud in that than this. Like seriously, I'm not making that up. Not a lot of oud. This could have been called Royal Sandalwood, Royal Pink Pepper, Royal Spice, or something like that. Getting it too close to spice and wood there, but really it's not oud heavy at all. It's cedarwood, pink pepper, sandalwood, kind of dry but still creamy, spicy. Smells like pure royalty, really does. Very classy, very upscale. It's a beauty of a scent. All right, gotta talk a little bit faster to get through these. I'm trying to stay within my time budget here. Number 2, so this is gonna be another very, very special fragrance for me. So I'll take my time a little bit here. One from a brand that I also didn't think I would own any from, given the price point. Not nearly as expensive as the ROJAs, but still expensive and not really always discounted. They are discounted now. This one will be linked down below, but at one point they were a bit harder to get discounted. Also from the brand of KILIAN. Like I said, it wasn't only going to be one. This is Straight to Heaven, just the original. Now, I would have put Extreme. In fact, I do wear Extreme a lot, but that one is hard to get. That was kind of limited, so I'm just sticking with the original here. Oh, man, Straight to Heaven. This is one of the best boozy fragrances ever created. One of the most realistic, one of the best, one of the most sexy date night fragrances I've ever smelled on the niche side and just in general. Absolutely impressive. Cedarwood, rum, patchouli, dried fruits, nutmeg. Man, it is so good. So actually that creation didn't even really stick on my hand. So we'll use a spray here. This is, it's truly special. Wow. I mean, that opening, it's literally rum. Like, if you were to blindfold me and, you know, apply this on one hand and somehow missed some rum, some actual alcohol rum on my other hand, I would be hard-pressed to, you know, differentiate them. Obviously, this has more notes going on, and the rum would be much more alcoholic and stringent, but I'm just trying to, you know, get my point across the best I can that this literally opens up with rum. So photorealistic, so authentic. As it dries down, that bright rum booziness starts to go to the back where it still maintains a booziness, but more of a creamy sweetness comes through. It gets sweeter overall instead of being bright. Man, I mean, this is absolutely incredible. There's a little tiny bit of a smokiness. Straight to Heaven, it's easily one of the best from the brand. It's a truly special fragrance for me, one that means a lot to me just because it's a smell that just encapsulates what I look for in a fragrance. So amazing stuff here. One that you can get for, I think, just a little bit over $200 on discounter, saving a little bit of money off retail, and is worth every single penny. Beautiful, gorgeous stuff. This is one of the reasons why I look forward to wintertime here. And last up for number 1, from Parfums de Marly. So you're probably wondering where this brand was. This is going to be Carlisle. So I know a lot of people are going to be wondering about Layton. It could have been in here, but I, you know, just wanted to put Carlisle, I guess. Could be a honorable mention, could be a tie. I wear Layton a lot, but Carlisle, man, this is good. So good. Patchouli, vanilla, tonka bean, nutmeg. It's rich, it's strong, it's incredibly demanding and powerful and potent. This stuff is insane, like on every stretch of the term, insane. Like so incredibly strong, so unique. One that's definitely for the niche lover. If someone wants something different, I would recommend them to get Carlisle, but also still have some kind of wearability and mass appeal behind it as well. 12 plus hours performance, really strong projection, quality is fantastic, super unique, it's a great scent. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. That is going to be my top 10 niche winter fragrances for the end of winter time here. Let me know down below what are some niche fragrances you've been wearing. Are you going to add any of these to your collection? If you end up picking any of them up, let me know what you think. Remember, I will link them up down below, make it easy for you. Twisted Lily, any shopping you do there, Chaos 10 for 10% off. Otherwise, most of these will be at discounters. They will be linked up, and make sure to use the Fragrance Net 35% off link to get that discount. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we're getting out of here right in time. Not really. I actually went over my time budget a little bit, but that's okay. We don't talk niche often. Hope you had fun hanging out with me, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.